Okay, so this is not a quick video on my Mercy settings. Real quick, this is what my list is looking like. I'm gonna try to explain all of these. I'm gonna explain my Mercy settings, but more specifically, Guardian Angel prefers beam target. Okay. So real quick, what are my settings? My Mercy settings, I have toggle beam connection off, which you should always have it off, especially if you have Guardian Angel prefers beam target on. Toggle Guardian Angel should be off no matter what settings you have, and Guardian Angel prefers beam target is preference, but I like having it on. I used to have it off. I started off having it off, but after a while I experimented with having it on, and I feel like it fits my playstyle a lot more. So what is it? So Guardian Angel prefers beam target on is no matter where you look, you're going to fly to your beam target. Even if you're trying to fly to Outcast, let's say, and you're looking at Outcast and your beam is on Fau, you fly to Fau no matter what. If you have it off, no matter who you're beam targeting, as long as you look at them, you fly to them. I like having it off because there are some exceptions, like if, let's say, your line of sight is broken by a wall, you can fly even though you can't really see them. And I'm going to get more into depth on that later. So a lot of people don't like it on for some reasons, which I'm going to explain why. Is a big reason is min-max. So let's say Fau is low and I need to fly to Outcast to like get away. I can heal Fau while still flying to Outcast. And this outputs the most healing, and it's more efficient, but it comes with a lot of drawbacks. For example, if I break line of sight with Fau, I'm gonna die here, but I can't fly no matter what.
Heroes never die.
But I can be more unpredictable, depending on where I'm flying to. But this can be easily fixed by a trick that I'm just gonna call DC beam. I'm gonna explain it slowly and then I'll do it rapidly. Basically, you're trying to fly to Outcast and you're healing Fau. You disconnect your beam from Fau, you fly to Outcast, and then you flick back and heal Fau. So quickly, it looks like this.
I'm taking care of you.
I'm trying to fly to Outcast. I fly and then I flick back to Fau. And done quickly, this can be more efficient and it doesn't take much time at all.
I'm with you.
And you don't even really need to look at Fau that much.
You should be at peak
I'm trying to do it slowly. Once again, that's disconnecting your beam, looking at Outcast, flying to Outcast, and then beaming back to Fau. It looks like this. And this is more efficient. Also, Fau, if you start flying, this is much better for pocketing Pharas, because they can be up in the air, and I can have a free camera and look around while still doing my job pocketing the Phara. This is much easier. It's also easier whenever you're pocketing Blade, because if somebody's blading and they go around the corner, you don't have to disconnect. You can just fly around the corner like this. Well, if you usually don't have these settings, you can't. And another argument is if you have it off, you can, if you're healing Outcast down here, and you can fly up to the Fau, to the Phara named Fau.
My ultimate is charging.
But once again, you can just DC beam like this and fly up and gain height. I'm not saying that one's better than the other, but this one is better for my playstyle. A lot of times I break line of sight and I use certain tricks to slide off of walls and go sideways.
You should be at
also, it has a lot of style points. Like I can do a sideways super jump, or even a backwards super jump if I do it right.
I'm with you.
Like that, and it's cool. So some tricks. If, let's say, I break line of sight, usually, like, if a Mercy falls and they don't have these settings on, they have to ask somebody to peek them or ult, because otherwise they just fall. But if I have this off, I can, I don't even need to look at them. I can just fall in here and fly up. And I can even do this on purpose, not just falling, but like to avoid certain heroes that are trying to kill me. And it increases my survivability a lot. Another thing on survivability is if, let's say there's a situation where there's a Doom ulting, and I'm beaming one person and I'm trying to look at the other one. The Doom has 3 options. If this is more spaced out, obviously. You can either ult where I'm standing, in which case I can, all these are very situational. For example, on Ilios Well, you can do the same thing, but you don't want to do this all the time. It's the same thing with super jump, where you don't always want to be in the air because there's snipers. It's always situational, but if they have dive heroes, or like a Doomfist and like a Genji or something, or even like a Pharah, you can be out in the open, and it's much easier. Like on this map, there's usually like Pharah sometimes, or with Bunker, and you could use this to avoid very easily. They have dive heroes. But back to the Doomfist example, he can either ult you where you're standing, in which case you fly away no matter which way you go. They could ult where you're looking, because they think that you're gonna fly to the person that you're looking, in which case you can just fly backwards. Or they can ult where your beam is, and that's a big gamble because not many people have the setting on. A lot of Mercies have this off.
Connection ongoing.
But even then, if they fly to where your beam is, you can just disconnect your beam and fly forward. And a lot of times they try to fly where you're looking because DPS don't really know Mercy settings at all. So they're like, oh, a Mercy's looking at somebody, they're gonna fly. So they're probably gonna ult where Outcast is right now, and I just fly back to follow. And same thing with a Blade, sometimes they try to dash where you're trying to look, and you could just fly backwards. And it's very good at like juking DPS that are trying to kill you and increasing your survivability.
Where does it hurt?
And you can use these tricks to climb walls, basically. I'm gonna show this on Hanamura. Second point, it really works on any map with a straight wall. So I'm gonna have somebody stand on high ground on Hanamura defense point B.
Over you.
Just standing up there.
Teleporter is online.
Okay. So usually if you're down here you need somebody to peek you if you have these settings off. But with these on you can climb up walls. And this works on many maps, but Hanamura is a great one because there's a lot of high ground with straight walls under them. Also if somebody's standing right here, you can climb up this little corner. If you stand more back here, where I break line of sight, usually I can't fly to them, right? But if I have these settings on, I can climb up like that. I could either go out this way or I can go to high ground. It helps you gain height, essentially. There are a lot of places like this, for example, on point A on the sniper ledge. You can climb up that wall too. Although sometimes you do have to be careful with certain ledges. Ledges can stop you if you don't hit space at the right time. And some ledges, it's just impossible to climb up.
Let me get you patched up.
So like here, I don't have line of sight, but I can use this little post right here to fly up. And if I hit the ledge, sometimes I bounce backwards. But still, I can gain height, and it's much more forgiving if you don't have it. So like right here, there's this straight wall. You can climb up of it. And if you hit space whenever you hit it, you saw how I bounced backwards. And it's very, it gives you a lot of height and space. Sometimes though you don't want to go all the way up because there might be a sniper over here, but you can always just stop it.
I'm with you.
Like that. And then it also helps you get around corners. Like if someone were to go up high ground here, and then one person is down, let's say here. I can be up high ground and then still fly to them,
Where does it hurt?
or like get out if I don't have line of sight. Usually I wouldn't have line of sight here. But if I hold left shift and I don't press space, a big key is not pressing space, because the second that you press space, you stop your guardian angel and you have free reign of like what direction you're going in. But if I don't, and I don't hit space at all during that, I didn't hit space once, I can just go around corners. And this works with a lot of corners. Sometimes there are ledges though, like that one you can get stuck on. Another thing is you can slide on top, slide across floors if somebody is below you, like this. And this also works on Horizon. If we can go to Horizon, there's a certain trick that I like to do a lot, and it's very hard to hit you. Nobody really expects it whenever you do this. If you go to point A defense, you'll see. Another thing real quick we can try it right now is Maywall. For example, back on Hanamura, if usually on, let's say this is the Hanamura choke for point A, usually your Rhine might get walled off and then you aren't able to fly up. But if there is,
I'm out of here.
if there is somebody, if you do have these settings, you can climb up the wall easily. Like try to wall the choke right here. I can climb up the wall like this, and then I can heal the Rhine from here. And it's a great thing. Animedic does it sometimes, if you watch her videos. And that's where I got the idea from. Another thing is sliding across, like under. If somewhere were to stand where my spray is right now, and usually, if I don't have these settings on, I can't fly at all. But see, I can fly to them even though I'm under them. So this setting can work like this, where I can slide under, and I can move under, and it's much easier. All I need to do is just beam them real quick, and I can slide under as long as my beam is connected. And this works for a lot of things. Even if they're under you, you can slide. So if you stand down there, you can slide across this floor right here.
Mercy in Bereitschaftsdienst.
See, I can slide like that, and I don't need anybody to peek me to do that. It gives you a lot more movement opportunities, I feel, and overall, you don't get stuck as often. Another example, like I showed on Nepal, is Ilios, like Ilios well. You can do the same effect of falling into the well. Of course, don't do this with snipers. This is well. And this is ruins.
I play to win.
Is it gonna do the same thing again?
Now arriving at Ilios.
Yeah, this is ruins.
One shot.
If we can go to well, you can see how I fall down, and I can use that to get back up.
Cheers, love. The cap.
Now arriving at Ilios.
Okay, here's well.
I'll be watching.
I know it's Nepal. Okay, we have a lot of trouble getting the right lobby and like the right map on these caps. Yeah. Okay, so if somebody is just standing on point, you can use the wall, and especially because it's rounded, it's much easier to climb up. But you can just survive like this basically, and you can jump between different targets. You could even do it backwards. Of course, if there's a sniper, you don't want to do this, but it's easier, and you can heal the team. The only thing with this, just in general, is you need to know how long your beam lasts, because if you wait too long, of course my beam's not connected and I die. And your beam lasts 1 second exactly. And you need to know the amount of time it takes before you fly, like so it doesn't DC. And also, like over here, if you stand over here, just in general, if you fall off the map, like not even on purpose, you don't need to ask somebody to peek you, because they can just go away and then you could fly.
You should be at peak
So like
performance
that,
levels.
the other person, they might not even notice that you fell, and you can just fall, and get back up. You can also use it to get high ground. If somebody is standing over here, and you fall, you can use it to your advantage and get high ground like up here. There are some tricks that you can do, for example, on icon walls. Icon walls on last point. There's a trick that I saw, I think it was on YouTube, that you could get to the chandelier
I'll be watching
on
over
last
you.
point. Oh, even on this bridge right here, if you fall, I can beam somebody and then fly up. But on last point, it's not really the best spot because they can easily shoot you, but if somebody's standing up here,
You needed a doctor?
you can fly up. If they stand like a little bit back, you can fly up and get to the chandelier up here. If I do it right, obviously.
Did someone call a doctor?
Like here. And you can fly up here. Although, of course, if they're over on that side of the wall, you can use this to defend. But usually if the cart's right here, they can easily shoot you, so that's not the best idea. But see, like that, if you hit space at the right time, it does take a lot of experimentation. But you can fly up to the chandelier. And there are many tricks like this. For example, it's not as useful anymore because the super jump is available, like, super jump is a thing now. But on Temple of Anubis, on defense second point, you can do the same thing trying to get on the little step.
I'll be watching over you.
If somebody's standing over here, you can use this wall to slide up and go here. Even if you don't have line of sight. See how I kind of slid up the wall? Of course, now you have the super jump, so it's not as needed because you can just use your super jump to get up here. But if you're not really confident in your super jumps, you can use it to slide up. And even here, I can slide around certain corners. And it does take knowledge of knowing like what angles you can fly in. For example, rounded surfaces like these are much easier because you can change your direction depending on what angle you hit it. For example, if I'm on the right side of this, I can fly and then I go to the right. If I'm on the left, I can fly and I go to the left.
Let me get you patched up.
Let me see if there's anything else. Some drawbacks would be if you're flying into corners. If we go back to Horizon, on defense point A,
Traveling to Horizon Lunar Colony.
I'll be watching over you.
there's certain corners to, oh, even right here. See how this is going into a corner? You can't fly no matter what because you will get stuck in certain places, like in this corner, because the wall angles this way whenever you hit it. Even over here, it angles into this wall right here whenever you hit it. So you do need to know your angles. It doesn't clip you through walls or anything. And it's just knowledge of knowing like what angles you can hit. Like here, I can hit to the side because it's sliding this way.
Your support has arrived.
And just learning to know when to switch your beam between certain targets. And I think that's about it. It's easier to pocket Farah and Blade, which I think I said before. Like if Genji's behind a corner, whenever he's blading, I don't need to peek around to get it. I can just slide off and then continue damage boosting. See, like here, I can just slide up. Well, before, if I had it off, I would have to walk around, and if I couldn't walk around fast enough, my beam would disconnect. And I think that's about it. I'm gonna re-explain the Guardian Angel switch. If you send right here and over there.
Let me get you patched up.
On my spray. So basically, is I'm trying to heal Outcast and I'm trying to fly to Fawu. I disconnect my beam, I fly to Fawu, and then I re-heal Outcast. So it looks like this.
I'm here.
And it does take a lot of practice. I'd say you could use certain bots. If you're trying to have bots that don't move, you should have not a King of the Hill map. But if you just have two bots and they're standing, you can practice between them, or if you can have friends help you out. It took me a few games to get used to. This isn't really easy. I feel like it's easier to transfer from Guardian Angel Prefers Beam Target on to off, rather than it is to transfer from off to on. But I did it myself, and once you do it, it really does pay off. Because you can gain height like this and slide off, and it's kind of unpredictable. Not really, but on certain surfaces like this one, they have ledges on the side, so I would bounce off from the side. But I think that's pretty much it. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't rant too much. Okay.